you would like to say something. But first of all, hello everyone and welcome to our webinars. This is our first of many webinars on the Community Action Guides series. And we are very excited to share with all of you our new guides, Community Action Guide on what is development. This is very exciting. We have been working on these materials for quite some time, and I'm so happy to share with you all today. And we have got a great presenter with us today, and you will meet her in a few minutes. Let's start with some housekeeping. Yeah, feel free to type in chat for any questions, comments. If you want to greet each other, please feel free. This session will be recorded, and the recording will be shared widely. So if you want to remain anonymous, please feel free to rename yourself in Zoom. Your name won't be appear in the recording, but if you put on chat, then your name might appear on the chat, recording of the chat. So please feel free to adjust your name if you'd like to remain anonymous. And we have Tian with us today, and she will help us with any technical issues in accessing these webinars. Please contact her in the chat box, and also feel free to email her. Any questions? Great. I'll move us on to the next one. Just a quick overview of what we're going to talk about today. We have a few things we would like to cover. We'll show you what is Community Action Guide and why we're doing it. And as mentioned, we have amazing community organizer Jessica Amon with us, and she will tell her own story. And you will get a chance to listen to her and interact with her, share your questions and comments with Jessica. And then we will also ask you to participate in the activities from the guide. We have adjusted some of the activities into online format. Let's see how it's look like, and then we would ask you if you have any comments, any suggestions. That's what we're planning for today in this hour. So let's see here. I'd like to share with you all the slides, and I would just put in the chat. Okay, so please go to these slides in the chat box. You will see a link to the slides. So please go there, and you would be able to see the slide that we prepare for today. And then we have a check-in question. This is from the Community Action Guide, right? So our check-in questions, we would like to ask everybody. So first of all, please go to the slide in the link, and then go to slide number 4 and 5. Okay, people are coming. So you would go to slide number 4 that asks, what does development mean to you? So I would like to invite everyone to just, sit or stay comfortable and close your eyes and think about your communities. Think about the people who lived in your area, your neighborhoods. Think about different people in your family, different people in your community. Think about the bigger society, your countries, your region, or even globally. and answer these questions. What does development mean to you? So please feel free to type in your answer. You just click on one of these shapes, double click, and then add your thoughts. What does development mean to you in these shapes? Anyone. Or if you join by phone or other devices, feel free to just put in the chat in Zoom. And so we'll make sure your answer would reflect on this. Or if you like, just unmute yourself and speak up what you think development means to you. I'll give us a couple of minutes to think and answer this question. This is really, the core ideas of why we are creating and promoting this community action guide. Thank you so much. We have some great answer coming up. Yeah, just click on the shape, double click on the shape, and then add your thoughts on it. Okay, great. I'd like to read just a few as it's coming up. What does development mean to you? Everyone, including marginalized groups, minorities, sees benefit from development, not just the harms. Development means that moving to the next stage in progress in the process of getting to a desired goal for all. That's a great one. Development is progress, moving together and leaving no one behind. That's great. Does anyone like to say or elaborate a few words on your answers? Okay, I'll just check on the chat
Did you
box.
see the one I wrote? Or
yeah.
I cannot. It is but I think I cannot enter.
I'll read something in the chat box. Some answer are community members are being able to design what kind of life they want to live in. They have their own rights to manage their own natural resources. They all meet the basic needs such as clean water, access to healthcare, and education services. Thank you so much. This is a great answer. Great. Development need resources often extracted from vulnerable group to serve certain group of people, often powerful one. Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing these great thoughts about what does development means to you. I would like to move us to the next one. So in these community action guides, we say that, development means different things for different people, right? It might even not be possible for us to all agree on what does development means. But what important is that everybody should be able to participate in deciding what kind of developments should happen in their communities, in their countries, or even in the global level, right? And when more people are able to participate in that debates, in decision, and that's the time when development is much likely to be the actual meanings for the better of our lives. And that, I think, the intention of why we create this action guide, for people to really ask these questions, ask among themselves and ask especially people who hold power. International Accountability Project, we have been working on developing number of resources that we call community action guides. As here you can see, we have several of them. Some of you have seen the previous one, the community action guide on community-led research. There are 3 booklets in there, and we have translated it into several regional and local languages. If you go to the link provided here, you will be able to download all of them. And I think the main reasons why we create these guides, because they are so rich experience. I think we have learned from movement, from communities around the world. And there is a great opportunity to learn from each other, for each communities to be able to develop their own actions, right? To bring positive change, or to push back on whatever they want to. Um, the main goal is for community to be able to decide what good for them, and this is a tools that they can adjust and use that fit their own situation, their own context. We don't say you should do this and that. This is just merely a recommendation, a suggestion for people to think through what would work best for their situation. And it has a lot of rich stories from different parts of the world. We hope this kind of material can apply for different contexts, different situations. And we would love everybody to be able to use these action guides on their own ways, at just whatever that's good for you. And please help us spread the words. So today we are talking about these particular community action guide on what is development. You may have seen some of the promotion materials. This is amazing cover, we think, and there are a lot in there that you can see. Basically, the way we design this action guide, it has the contents, right? The information that would be useful. It also has activities that you can use with your own groups, your communities. It will open a space for discussions. It provide step-by-step instructions how you should facilitate or you should organize these activities. We also have in this guide the Did You Know box. Did You Know box is some information that we think would be relevant or useful for communities. And we have also some questions for group discussions to exchange the ideas and questions. We try to make this action guide as accessible as possible. So we work with amazing illustrator to develop and create an illustrations, a drawing that capture real life experience, and that would make these content, this topic easier. And as mentioned, we also try to cover a story from the real struggle of the people. And as you can see here, we also feature story from Jessica, who's with us today, and you will hear from her in just a minute. And she will tell you her own story. Any questions so far? Otherwise, I would like to hand over to my colleague Choira, who will take us on the journey with Jessica. Over to you, Choira.
Okay. Thank you, Tom. Hi, everyone. Nice to see you all here, despite the end of the year, despite the COVID situation. And it's really good to have this kind of wonderful experience participants here. Thank you, Tom. amazing piece of paper around the development, which was created by International Accountability Project. I just would like to say some few words in addition to what you said. Overall, all the produced materials of community action guides of series, which was showed by Tom, are created together with local activists, together with some of you, right? And partners, in order to be used by community organizers to start or strengthen local campaigns. And all the materials and tools are very interactive and accessible and easy to understand. As for this guide, what is development guide? The main idea of creation of this guide is based on understanding of development concept from the community's perspective. Therefore, your ideas, your feedback around the development is really precise here to know. And as you see, uh, governments, companies, development, all these big projects are always proclaiming by them as a wonderful, as something is really good, right? But are these projects always good for the people and the environment? Who is actually benefiting and who should decide what kind of projects and policies are best for the future of community? It should be from us. It should be we should decide what is better for us. And all the response to all these questions might be identified together with community in this guide as the best tool for discovering these answers. This guide is easy to understand, as Tom showed, with a different kind of activities, practical tools, right? And it will be, this guide also has some kind of community-led development and supports communities in claiming their rights for development. And I hope that with the help of this guide, you will be able to develop your actions with communities in your regions as well. And from this point, we have as Tom mentioned, we have wonderful person, the hero of the story in this guide, Jessica. Yeah, all of you know her perfectly well. And I would like to give her floor in order she provides her experience, she provides her idea about the development and says something about her experience in the region. Please, Jessica, thank you.
Yes, Sairat, salamat. Thank you. So, okay. Tom, can you help me with my presentation? Yeah, thank you. Yeah. So, yes. Next slide, please. So I have this outline. I drafted some outline so that I have my continuity of my presentation. Okay, so next slide, please. Hi, good evening. Jessica Amon here. I'm from the Philippines. Sorry, I cannot open my video cam because of the, very slow connection. I'm from the Philippines. It's a great honor for me to speak with you all guys tonight. As you all know, with Sukajel here, I am a member of Global Advocacy Team established in 2013. With Sukajel, I saw Sukajel here. Here in the Philippines, I'm working as community organizer and trainer of Food B, COs, and leader community organizer. I've been in CO Multiversity, our office, for about 22 years and 9 months, to be exact. In all those times, I've been working with 4 communities in both urban and semi-urban areas. Our work basically is to ensure establishment of permanent solution to housing and shelter. And to do that, we enhance knowledge and skills, capacity of the community to help them make things happen in building community that is empowering. So this is Community Organizer Multiversity. Thank you, Tom. CO Multiversity is a capability building institution that promotes empowerment of community, and it aims to respond to the difficult challenges faced by the marginalized. Okay, so since CO Multiversity is a training institution, next slide, please. Next slide, Tom. Our vision statement is just one line: empowered community. No, the previous one, Tom. still empower communities where people are engaging in organized effort to assert basic citizens' right to safe and secure settlement, right to access basic services, gender equality and gender justice, peace and development. And our mission is to attain this vision statement. Next slide, please. CO multiversity. Next slide, Tom. Okay, thank you. No, the mission. Okay. Sorry about because it's very slow connection here. For us to be able to attain our vision, yeah. We train organizers and set up people's organization for power and who are capable of critical participation, okay, in decision-making processes, thereby change the unjust structure, okay, and promote democratic and consensual system. To establish a system that ensures equitable and participatory processes. Our goal, of course, to, okay. We believe the effective action of the people always come from felt issue, no? And we are pushing for the promotion of working models and community organizing like the People's Plan. We believe that People's Plan is a concrete feature of people's participation in decision-making processes. And we are really into advocating the acceptance and mainstreaming community organizing work because we believe that it is an effective strategy to empower community. Next slides, please. So our area of operation, okay, this is in Luzon. So you can see this is NCR and this is Laguna. Okay, that's Luzon. We are in 5 cities in NCR and all 5 cities also in Laguna. So next slide, okay. So more. So we are also operating in Mindanao. So you can see that in Mindanao. So yeah, I think everybody knows the Mindanao. Okay, next slides, please. So as you can see, this is the picture of our partner communities. More picture, Tom. Okay. So we have basically, as you can see, our partner community concentrated and very severe poor situation like that. No? In NCR, our areas can be found the river bank of the main river in the city, Pasig River, Manggahan Floodway, and some is in the road. Yeah, you can see there, the road in the center of the city in Metro Manila. And in the province of Rizal in Laguna, our community there is in the lakeshore areas in Laguna Lake. So some of these pictures are the presently taken. Next slides, please. So I would like also to share with you the recent effort in ensuring community development initiative that is people-led. So next slide, please. So this is the recent effort that we done in Manila City. Just recent month in January, the government released 450 million of approximately 9.3 million or 490 million. That is the budget for their housing project, which is a people's plan of the people in Manila. And that project, that budget will be allocated also in the technical and engineering aspect. Right now, they are continuing implementing technical and engineering, like boring test, topographic survey in the target site. We also have Taguig City. It's a very new area we have. They are starting to do people's planning processes, series of meetings and consultation to push for ensure that that their target and land site for the people's land will be attained. Next slide, please. I want you also to share with you our effort in the resettlement site, because the settlement site that we have here is also a product of people's planning processes. In Rodriguez, recently is one of the hardest hit by Typhoon Ulysses. But before the typhoon hit, we were able to push for the people demand on condonation policy. As you can see, condonation policy is a program that push for the delayed the delayed payment should be no penalty, and they are pushing for the principal amount only to be paid. Okay, it's a very long year process during the implementation of the condonation policy, and it ended in February. We still have to evaluate this effort and how this were being effective, but the pandemic halted our plan. So in Laguna, ongoing consultation process on Lakeshore Community People's Planning processes. We already pushed for an establishment of technical working group in Congress because we are advocating to pass a bill that ensure real rehabilitation and protection of Laguna Diba. So that is the one of the concept of the people. You know? So I would like, since I still have a lot of story to share with you tonight, but I only have, minutes of so I will focus my story on the main strategy pushing for permanent solution to people basic rights in development. That is people's plan. No? We define people's plan as we define community organizing work. No? It is both an orientation and a process. Orientation because we believe that people had an enough capacity. We just need to help them draw it out and just have faith, no? So it's an orientation of people's capacity to affect change, building community with shared values, the role of the people in the development, and the people as part of governance. It's also a process because we need to set procedure that reflects discipline and sincerity of the people in participating in crafting solution as defined in their basic issues. So we have steps and procedure in people's planning process, standard rules, and policy. Because we don't just have push for a solution, a specific issue. We are doing a social transformation. Ayan. As I said, doing people's plan set a clear step and procedure that reflects one discipline. So people's plan has the following phases. Let me show you some of it, no? The phases of doing people's plan. Next slide, please. So people's planning processes has many phases, no? Phases, stages. So phase one, in the phase one, so phase one is visioning. So you all know the visioning process. So concept of people's plan in kind of developed community, preferred option, ganyan. They will also discuss importance of savings. That's very important in the phase one of planning process. Phase two is capacity building. No, capacity building basically focuses on technical, scientific, and financial aspect because community does not. We need to the community to understand that doing or having land housing project is really a technical and scientific one. So they have to learn basic land and housing rights. They have also to understand certain laws and policy related to building houses. Next slide, please. So phase 3. So phase 3, Tom, sorry. So we have phase 1, visioning, phase 2, capacity building, phase 3. Sorry, Tom. You're there, Tom? Phase 3 is community validation. On this phase, the community organization will conduct series of validation processes. This is a critical part of process because sometimes this is where the people and the family realize that other options, other option. Sometimes they have to talk with some family members, some friends, and this is where the final decision on certain policy, certain option, payments is undertaking. After the phase 3 comes the phase 4. After the validation, then the public presentation. On this stage, these people and their organization will conduct general people assembly where stakeholders are invited. No, community or other community organizations, civil society group, church people, and other line agency related to their project. So meaning people's plan goes public. They on this stage also people are getting support to their garnering support of their people's plan. Okay. Phase 5, after the public presentation, they will gonna conduct community assessment and another kind of validation, because on the public presentation, they will get feedback, they will get suggestion, they will get recommendation, and sometimes they will get a negative reaction. So they will going to assess and maybe reconsider some of the input specifically on the technical level. So on phase 6, after that, examining defined option thoroughly back to the people, and then they have to have the final draft under the phase 6. No? They have to submit now the final draft of people's plan, and they will going to conduct consultation meeting. Then next is phase 7. Phase 7 is project implementation and take out. Maybe some project is only at the level of phase 7, but phase 7 is a project implementation and take out. So technical, both engineering and scientific processes will be undertaken. Consultation, a lot of consultation with technical people will be done, and take out. And sometimes, the installation of service facility is very crucial, because some of the housing project, especially the resettlement, far away resettlement, do not have any service facility. On this phase, they have to discuss it and ensure that service facility will be established. Then the phase 8, no? After after this one is on this one, establishment of community homeowners association and input on state management, because the people's planning process and the involvement of the people will not just end when they submitted the project. It will go through until they have moved in. Before they are going to move in, they have to discuss now the state management, no? The policy guidelines, the management of the buildings. And then the phase 9. Ayan. Moving in and actual occupancy. Ayan, no? Moving in of the beneficiary to families, issuance of unit keys. Ayan. As it presented, it seems too tasking heavy of meeting and technicalities, no? And maybe one of you or some of you may wonder, could there be really a community who will exercise or implement those phases? Or could be realized? With that, let me share with you the experience of our partner community in Manggahan Floodway in Pasig. Ayan, thank you. Ang experience. The struggle for permanent and safety. Ayan. Okay. So Manggahan Floodway as a highlight of Metro Manila Flood Control Drainage Master Plan. So you see those East Bank and West Bank. The Manggahan project is a man-made river covering the stretch of Pasig City in Metro Manila and 2 cities or 2 towns in Rizal Province. This is the 10-kilometer long, 250-meter wide man-made river. This is designed to ease the flooding in Metro Manila. So, but after, next slides, please. After the construction of the dike in that arrow, if you can see the arrow, no? After that, the construction of the river dike, the land left vacant. So because of the scarcity of the program of the land for housing, many build their temporary house there, and later they have the land permanent, no? So when after the completion, informal settlers started to construct, after which two presidential proclamation was issued for the people who was occupying the said vacant lot, that declares the land in floodway East and West Bank as land for socialized housing. Ayan. So they have this kind of security during that time because two presidents proclaimed the land for socialized housing. But next slide, please. Next slide, Tom. So in September, just recent, no? In 2009, no, the previous one. Ayan. Next, no. This is okay. The floodway was, or the Philippines was struck by big calamity in 2009, no? That's Ketsana, Typhoon Ketsana. And the floodway that says that's built to ease the flooding flooded the community along the floodway. So the people living in the bank of the floodway started to vigorously finalize their people's plan. No, they started to really seriously undertaken the serious consultation processes and finish their people's planning processes. As you can see, next slide, please. After that, a community assembly as a basic tool of consultation decision-making process was conducted. It's a regular occurrence and activities in floodway, in Manggahan floodway as a part of people's plan processes. It ensured that no one was left behind in this kind of process. No, all action in the community was an informed decision. So next slides, please. So they have people's plan. They undergone the whole process, the 9 phases, but they did not just stop there. No, next slide, please. Okay.
Jessica, I'm sorry, we're running out of time. Is it okay to skip the strategies? We can have like a follow-up to deep dive. And could you share the success of the community? I think there
yes, you can.
Thank you.
So I just some picture that just we passed is a different strategy that the APO-AMP was undertaken during that time to ensure this one. Yeah. No. Slide 32, Tom. So they have been able to convince through this negotiation, to build their own resettlement plan in city. No, in August 2015, 100 first move. No, the 120 families. Next slide, please. This is the realization of the people's plan of APO-AMP in Pasig City. As of now, 8 buildings have home for 480 families. The target building was 15 buildings to house 900 families. This is the 900 families, the beneficiary of 15 buildings. But there are also threats, no? Although we have successes and victory of pushing for the permanent solution. Hansing, next slide please. But there are also threats, current threats and challenges.
Yeah, I'm so sorry, Jessica. We might have to cut you off now.
Okay, okay.
And we'll share the full slide with participants. So
Okay, okay.
and I hope there will be more time for you to share. Thank you so much.
Okay, okay.
And we in the slides, the link I share. So now we have maybe a couple minutes for people to ask Jessica questions or give comments. If you go to the slides that we share, slide number 19 and 20, you can type in your questions or comments, and we will make sure Jessica get to that, and we can consolidate her answer and response to everybody questions. Or you can just type in your questions in the chat box now.
Yes,
and
the
then
chat box, yes.
we can try
Hi
to
guys.
answer.
Thanks. Just sorry, just a quick Jimin. If you want to type your questions on the chat box, please make sure you send it to all panelists and attendees so that the other people can see it. Otherwise, you can just send it to Tom and myself. So we just reading some questions and comments so far. I will make sure I will repost it in the panel in the attendees so that you can all see it. Thank you.
Thank you, Tian. Yes, just feel free to type in your questions or comments in the chat box, or just go to slides number 1920 and add your questions and thoughts there. I'm gonna share my screen back on. Okay, so here is the slides that you can add your questions there, and we'll make sure Jessica get through all this, and we'll find a way to share her answer and response with everybody. Yes, and feel free to add anything as we progress. And thank you so much, Jessica, for sharing with us a rich experience.
Yes, thank you also. Thank you also.
Yeah,
giving
I
me
hope.
the opportunity to share with them also.
Thank you so much. Yes, please add your questions or comments in the chat or in these slides, and I will move us to the next section that we prepared. So as mentioned, we have a few activities and exercise in these action guides. And we try to make it interactive, participatory, right? That you can use to discuss with your communities and develop some further thoughts. We pick some of the exercise to adjust for online sessions. Let's try the first one. This is in the guide. If you download the guide, some instructions would be there. So I would like to invite everyone to look at this image, right? Look closely. This is a picture of a community. Please use your imagination and ask yourself these questions. How is people living, right? How do people earn their livelihoods? How they enjoy their life? What make them enjoyment? And are there any challenges that the people in this community facing? Look closely into all the activities and what you can see. And then this is what happened next, the next scenario of this. What do you see now? Many changes happened in a blink of an eye. Can you describe what happened to this village? Is it better or worse than before, and why? Is there any way to prevent this from happening? So I would like to ask everyone to type in the chat your answer to these questions. What happening in this village? And is it better or worse than the previous picture? And is there any way to prevent this from happening? Just if you feel like answering any questions, just feel free to type in your answer in the chat box. Let me look. Thank you, to grow an indigenous fisherfolk living off the river resources. Anything else that people see happening in picture number 2? What kind of change? Is it better or worse for the people in this community? Some say it's fisherfolk mystery after catastrophe. The hydropower kills the river and no more fish. Anyone would like to say something about your thoughts? Feel free to unmute yourself and elaborate your answer, please.
Hello, Tom.
Yes, Jessica.
Yes, I am seeing a community along the grid, no, electrical, what you call the hydro grid. It's a very danger place to live in. They are also near the river.
Yes.
And the danger zone areas.
Thank you. Anyone else would like to share your thoughts? Is it better or worse? Anyone like to share on that?
Hello, Tom.
Yes.
Yeah, it's in the middle of the village. There are high tension line is going. It's a danger. It's the worst things, and also the dam was constructed, and the and see a river is crossing the village. So it's a bad situation.
It's bad, no? Thank you, Vishwan. Anyone else? Maybe we can take one more response. Anyone want to chime in on, is there any way to prevent this from happening? Okay, great answer in the chat box. I'd like to invite everyone to read the comments. Community has no access to power, and as it's connected to national grid, the water flow is diminishing. Yes, join international rivers to stop all damming process. Great response. I'd like to move us to the next scenario. So now, forget about the previous one, forget about picture number 2. We believe, yes, there is a way to prevent harm and bring more positive changes to the community. Take another look at the picture 1, right? Below here, the first one that you saw. In order to make the picture number 3, the big one, a reality and prevent the catastrophe on picture 2, what does the community need to do, or what do they need to have in order to prevent picture 2 and perhaps, you know, keep original picture 1 or change into picture 3? Please feel free to answer and share your thoughts. Again, in the chat box, or just unmute yourself and share your thoughts. So first of all, What change do you see from 1 to 3? Yes.
Is it well, I see a structure that gets the water. So it's, I don't know if it's a SWIP. Is it a small water impounding project? Because what it does is it diverts water from the river, but it produces electricity for the village now. And
Yes.
there is development because you can now see a school in the village in the third picture, and they were able to maintain at least environmentally the trees, and they still have the rice fields. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Karina. Yeah, that's a great answer. I'll read some comment here. Maurice said there is need for community participation for the desired development. Exactly. There's localized energy solutions available if they can get organized to build their own energy cooperative. That's a great answer. The other one, villagers need a transparent consultation and ability to negotiate with developers equally. And someone say that they see a school, hospital, and a structure that benefit communities and perhaps requested by the community themselves. That's great. Thank you so much, everybody, for these great ideas. So this is an example of how you can use activities in this guide to create a discussions, a debate within the community, right? This is a scenario, and you can even make it from the real life experience, what happening in your own communities. And these types of discussions would spark some ideas or problematize what they are seeing right now. I have actually,
we have one
yes,
person raising hand. It's Joy.
yes, please. Would you like to speak?
Yes.
Hi, please go ahead. Is it Joyce? Would you like to say something? I'm sorry, there might be something.
Hi. Hello.
Yes,
Hello.
yes, can you hear us? I'm so sorry about connection. Maybe we can get back to you, or if you want to flag any thoughts in the chat box. Sorry for the connection issues. I'd like to move us to one last exercise. This is almost like a energizer. And this is a community-led development jigsaw puzzles. Please go to the slide again, the link that we share. Go to one of the next 3 slides. You will see pieces of a jigsaw puzzle here. So go to the link on slide 10. Could you put the link to slide back on the chat, please? Thank you. And then please go to slide number, what is it? 26, 27, or 28. Go to any of them. And this is a jigsaw puzzle, right? You click on one of these pieces and try to connect them to complete this puzzle. I'll give you 2 minutes to do this. It's a random team, so feel free to use your imagination. It's the same picture, so you can also go to slide number 27, slide number 28. Yeah, you can read in each pieces and try to figure out how are they going to come together to complete this puzzle. Wow, the slide number 26 almost ready. I think it is. 27's struggle a little bit. I think no one is on 28. Okay. Excellent. Yes, the winner is on slide number 26. Yeah, so in the action guides, we have further instructions. So after complete the puzzle, we would ask the group members, right, to read each of the 8 points. This is developed by members of global advocacy team. We have 2 members with us today, Jessica and Sukro. They, based on their experience working with community, conduct community-led research, they come up with this recommendation as a criteria and indicators to determine if that initiative is really a community-led development. And there are 8 topics, 8 indicators. And in the instructions, we would ask the team member to try to give a score of each of these to the project or the initiative that's happening in that community. You could ask, is it a people's plan, right? Or is it take a human rights approach to development? So each member will give a score on this, and then you have some understanding of, is the project initiative you're dealing with is really a community-led. You can see on slide number 29, this is the complete puzzle. It's a nice, beautiful infographic based on the community-led research around the world in 8 countries, involved almost 1,000 of people. And you can download this in many languages. We and partners have translated into major languages, and please feel free to use it any way you feel like. Thank you so much. Now, if you have any questions or any comments about all of these that we talk about in this hour, I realize we at the top of the hour, so please feel free to put in your questions and comments, and maybe we take 1 minute if anyone has any questions or would like to say something about this session. Please go ahead and unmute yourself and say something. While waiting, I'd like to call my colleagues, John. John, are you there?
Oh, yes, I'm here.
Great. Would you like to say a few words?
Okay, thank you so much to all the participants who have heeded to our call and to be a part of our dissemination of the What is Development Guide. We know that we've run quite out of time, but we'll wait that you provide feedback about the webinar. And yes, whenever you can always reach out to us to look at other guides that we're developing, but also for our input in the guides that you're developing around the right to development. Thank you so much, participants. And yes, please keep in touch through the link that has been provided. I asked Tom to take on the valuation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, John. John maybe is one of the team who creates these community action guides with us, and the other person is Ishita Perka, who work with us on these community action guides. And we have also Choira here with us, part of the community action guide team for IAP. So let me check if there is any questions. And we would like to invite you to please provide us feedback, comments, suggestion about this webinar and also about the community action guide. Just click on the link we provide here, and then please feel free to add anything you would like to share with us. Is anonymous feedback. Yes, we would highly appreciate your comments and feedback. Thank you so much. Yes, Suguro, we can share how we prepared and organize webinar like this.